goes for all my nasty hoes, yeah, from across the globe. This goes for all my nasty hoes, yeah, from across the globe. Look, now I say luxury apartment. I'm young and I'm heartless. There's a vision in my vision, that bitch is a target. Lawyer is a Jew, he gon' chew up all the charges. No matter if you fuck with me, I get money regardless. That guap, guap, get some chicken, guap, guap, get some bread. Guap, guap, get some chicken, guap, guap, get some bread. Bitch, you press, you can flex. Get some money, ho, tell me why you stressed. Now I say,
Welcome back to the Why So Serious podcast. I'm your host, Brandon, and we are back with another episode of our Insecure recap. Today we're joined by Stephanie as usual and Devin as usual. But we're also joined by Lauren from the Woke Gurls podcast. Hey, Lauren.
Hey, what's up?
And we also have Shante from the Single Simulcast. What's up, Shante?
Hey, what's up?
So we are outnumbered, Devin and I, today. Danielle couldn't make us, so we figured we'd do one better and get two more women to join us. Especially because this episode, I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of questions that I don't think I could possibly answer myself. And so this is a good episode to have everyone on. Today we are recapping Season 3, Episode 7, Obsessed-Like. This is the penultimate episode. We got one more left. Issa tries to concentrate on her business plan, but is driven to distraction. Molly steps out of her comfort zone in her love life. That's kind of an interesting synopsis. It's not really accurate. We'll start with Lauren. What did you think about this episode overall?
It was interesting. And I say that because, so I think I've said this before. I've been married for a really long time. So like, modern dating is just, I'm a sociologist at heart, so it's just fucking entertaining just to watch people like navigate love and relationships. And so ghosting is just something that's really just, I don't want to say it's funny because I know it's like really devastating when it happens to people, but it's just an interesting phenomena that somebody that you like had a connection with that just like dips out on you and you don't know what to do. So like I said, the whole episode was interesting. I have a lot of critiques about Insecure. I have a very love-hate relationship with the show. So this one was a little less irky for me, and it was just, I don't know, it was just wild because I did not know people went through stuff like that.
Oh no, that shit happening in these streets, I promise you.
Shante, what about you?
I mean,
go ahead, Lauren.
No, I understand it from both sides, why people would do it and how you would feel shitty about it happening, but I don't know, it's just like, damn, like people really be going through this.
It happens every day, yo. That's what happens when we live with the swipe right, swipe left culture, yo. It's real.
I don't know anything about that life.
Tinder
was not when I was single.
Look, hey Brandon, me and Brandon were out with our other co-host of our show, Mike, over the weekend. And when I tell you, they're all 20-somethings, and me and Brandon in our 30s. And when I tell you they was on the Bumbles, they was on the Tinders.
They was on all types of shit I ain't never heard of. By the way, Bumble sounds like the best thing.
Bumble is the best thing.
I have a lot of friends that are on like Plenty of Fish or something. Like,
oh no, that's free. Mm-hmm. See, that's free. That's for the cheapskates.
That's the free one. That's the free one.
Listen, apparently Bumble.
Oh, that's like that's the low budget. Okay,
it is. Yeah.
Apparently Bumble is this thing where nobody can talk unless the woman instigates the conversation. Yeah. Which is like, I feel like that's the best thing ever.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, Bumble is super so cool.
Like,
but my friend is crushing it.
You can't get any unsolicited dick pics, no unsolicited messages, nothing. It's only way you can talk to a dude is if you instigate the message, which is interesting.
Wow.
But again, once you initiate the conversation with the guy, boom, now you can get dick pics.
Oh.
So
now you can get dick pics.
So basically, you're saying I shouldn't get on Bumble. Got it.
No, Bumble's cool. Like, no, Bumble's really cool. My friend's having success on it. My homeboy that lives in Florida, he's having success with it.
So Mike's friends were like, you got to get on Bumble because all the women are hot because they don't have to get unsolicited dick pics. It was so interesting.
I could see that being a huge upside to a dating site, though. Like, the
and California is huge
per capita. Yeah, come here. Got you.
Mm-hmm. That is. Shante, what did you think about this episode?
I thought the episode was like really, really stressful. It was hard to watch.
It was. Yes,
it was hard to watch. It was just definitely like you're watching each decision, and it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you doing that? Stop. What are you doing? Why are you doing? I mean, this is with Issa and Molly.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I have to chime in. I know women that have done this exact thing. They just go to that point where they all they see is, I need closure, I need this. It doesn't matter how they get it. They do irrational things because they're so locked and focused on what they want, and that is closure or to know what's up.
Well, men do irrational things, but it's for different reasons.
Oh, yeah.
I find this thing very interesting. We'll get to it in the show, but I'm more with Lauren. I just don't know anything about that ghosting thing. So it's just like, I can see how I will fuck with you, basically. Even though the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, Issa, don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. But then I can see how I would fuck with her.
I was riding with her.
Steph, what'd you think?
As somebody who usually, I am a Molly. I hate to admit this, but I am a Molly. When it came to the ghosting thing with Issa, like especially towards the end of the episode, I could relate so much. Not with the weird, I'm gonna show up at somebody's house and be extremely creepy, but that ghosting thing really gets on your nerves. It really does.
So
like
apparently, this is a real thing.
It really is. But as I get into my,
what is the psychology behind it? I'm so confused.
It's just that
it really is. You know what? I don't like mincing words, so I'm gonna give it to you straight. It's because like some guys really don't know how to be straight up, and they don't know how to communicate. And so instead of being a grown up, they'll just just disappear. It's like, just say you don't want to talk to the person anymore.
Listen, I tried to tell you and Danielle that Nathan was trash. I tried to tell y'all.
You
y'all didn't want to listen.
He's not in jail. He's not in jail.
Y'all didn't want to listen. I tried to tell you. But Devin, what you did?
I liked him with Issa.
I think that the thing that we have to do, that women ghost men as well. I mean, it goes both ways. It's reciprocal, but it's the culture. It's definitely society and how I'm on to the next one already. You know what I mean? Like if you say one thing I really don't like, it's so easy for me to find somebody else because I just swipe right on somebody else and we got a match and I'm out. You know, so
yeah, but that shit was way worse because that nigga was laying in the bed talking about, I think you the one.
Oh no, nigga! I seen that.
What you're talking about is a different kind of ghosting.
You're talking about what Molly wanted to do with Andrew, where she was basically like, I'm not feeling this nigga, so why am I going to see him?
No, I've had people. No, first of all, I'm guilty of like disappearing when you like shit got too real. I told people, I'll be like, yo, shit get too real, I'm out. And I mean, I had to have that phone call, you know, where you out here cussing at me, and I'm like, yo, well, I don't really understand. Like, I told you I ain't want that shit, and you really coming on strong. So I had to fall way back. Literally got cussed out about that shit.
Yeah, but that's still not the same thing, because apparently that's you telling them you don't want something. Nathan didn't say shit. In fact, he said the opposite.
Look in his eyes. Oh, my bad. I had to shout out Rasani, because, oh my God, his soliloquy about how him and his wife were getting it in. And he missed the whole episode. Hilarious. He gave some knowledge. He dropped some gems.
I'm sure Shante's heard these stories all the time.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Rasani.
He went on whole. He went on he was on last week, and he went on the whole 15-minute soliloquy out of the blue about like how to eat pussy on the show. Out of nowhere.
Because what happened was he had to get right with his wife. Cause
that's how he missed a part of the show.
Yeah,
because we asked him something, he said I wasn't paying attention because of that.
And then he did. He went into detail about
it was pretty ridiculous.
How to do. It is awesome.
All right. So let's get into this show. So the show kicks off, and Issa's sleeping in the crib, and for some reason she's having dreams about losing her teeth, which
those are the weirdest dreams.
Yeah, I'm about to say, has anybody else had that? Because I've never had that.
I have, yeah, and it's just usually when I'm like in a point in my life where it's out of control. I internalize a lot of things I don't like, so I go, I got mental health issues, and when I'm slipping and sliding and not taking care of myself, and if things are out of whack, that's when I have those weird ass like fighting and can't punch back dreams, and my teeth are falling out. I think it has something to do with like it's lacking control. There's other reasons why you have them, but a lot of it has to do with like not being in control of your situation.
Yeah, I looked it up, and a common thread was that it was like a feeling of powerlessness or losing control. So I don't even know if that was what was up with Issa, but I can see that in a way.
I mean, she doesn't have control over Nathan, contacting her because, I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Apparently.
Nathan, she's in limbo with her work life right now. Like, she says it's doing a lot. She said it at the end of the episode. Yeah. He makes me feel like I'm not a fuck up or whatever. So she internalizes like she should be doing something else, or she should be somewhere else in her life. And I think really part of that's what the Nathan thing was. Like, I was like, girl's a dick that bomb, but it's not that the dick is that bomb. It's just that he was something in her life that made her feel like she wasn't fucking everything up, and so she was just craving that. She wanted that bag.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've also heard that the T thing is embarrassment. The T thing is an embarrassment. And when I was watching the show and she kept having these teeth dreams, it was making me think like, okay, she feels stupid. She feels dumb. Like she keeps trying to deal with it and everything, but she feels, out of, like y'all said, out of control, but definitely down on herself about this. That's what I took it as.
Yeah. That's dope. Look at that. Got to the bottom of it.
So she got movie candy next to the bed, which is,
everything.
Issa and this food in the bed, man. That is like
that is consistent.
That is a deal breaker.
Listen, the last time she spilled a whole meal in that man's bed, I don't know. She probably got.
I can't. Yeah, I just food in the bed, shoes in the bed. You just come on, like.
That's probably why Nathan left, because she be eating in the bed and shit.
Nigga was itching and shit. Yeah.
He didn't know how to say it. So she said it's been a week since she heard from Nathan. But she need to work on this block party. And then she was like, Tay Diggs started following me. And I was like, really? I thought Tay Diggs only like white people. White women.
White women.
No. Nah, he follows like everybody.
He hasn't followed me yet.
Well, see, I feel like he followed me on Twitter. I feel like he followed me on Twitter.
Lauren?
I say he followed more people than Lil B, the bass guy.
Lil B follows everyone.
Everybody.
That dude follows everybody. But I was like, oh, okay, so that's a nice little real world shout out. And then I was like, Issa's she's really in her feelings right now. Surprised she's not listening to fucking Aubrey.
Goddamn Aubrey. Fuck, goddamn it. Yeah, that would have been perfect though. So
then they showed Molly and Andrew on the date, and I was like, this nigga is smooth as shit. He was trying to be real smooth with Molly. I was like, look at this nigga. I'm so proud of Andrew.
He got swag though.
Yo, yeah, I just feel like he dope like that. Real talk, man. Like every scene his composure and his charm, his wit, like he got it, yo. Their chemistry is good, but I mean, Molly ain't shit.
Wait a minute, hold up. And I'm about to show my age. I don't know if anybody remembers this guy, but there was like this Asian DJ in California that everybody loved, and he was always about, seeing above the color lines and all this, but he had major swag. He's not a DJ anymore, I don't think. Like, he was on Moesha once, and I was like, Andrew reminds me of him.
I know about that Steve Aiko dude. That got to be in Vegas. I don't know about nobody else, no other.
This was like years ago.
When you said Moesha, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't remember his name, but he kind of reminds me of him.
I don't know who the fuck y'all talking about.
Yeah, I don't know either. But Andrew cute.
Listen, so, Andrew,
like I'm with it as far as their relationship is concerned. I wish it could have worked. Could have worked out.
You know when people be
He
like,
cute and he not dro. So
yes,
Hello.
we are a dro
So,
hating
so
zone
yeah,
here.
we do
We
dislike
hate
Dro.
Dro. We
Yes.
are not in the Dro hive.
Any of you ladies, Shante or are y'all team Dro? Y'all like Dro a little bit?
No.
Boy?
Hell no.
Come on.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
I don't like Dro. I do think that their relationship. I think assuming that Candace knows about Dro, like Dro is telling the truth about that, like just making that assumption. It
Lauren, what do
feels
you
like
think? Is he telling the truth?
I think he's telling. No, I think he's telling the truth because there was that thing where he woke up at the house. I mean, at Molly's house, and it was the next morning. He was like, "I'm still at Molly's. Where else would he? What else would he be doing early in the morning at somebody's house?" It doesn't seem like they had a relationship where they were like sleepover best friend. Oh,
I don't think he's lying, but I feel like he might not be being all the way up front with the boundaries, and you know what I mean. So like, him and his wife may have that understanding, but I feel like he may not be adhering to the rules that they set as far as doing that. Like, some people may have not spending the night rules, or not no friends, no childhood friends, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. I guess my
no
thing
relationships. Like that's a relationship.
I just feel like he just don't have boundaries. Like when she was like, "I need my key back," and he was like, "Why?" Like, no, nigga, give her the key back because she asked for it. Like that. That's what I was like. I don't like that. I don't like niggas like that. He heard you the first time.
And he definitely didn't tell Candace that him and Molly had a falling out, because there's no way she'd have acted like that when she showed up at the baby shower last week. Like, hey girl,
I don't know, because like I guess what I'm thinking of as far as like it's like a television thing, and it's like, why wouldn't you put that drama in the show if it wasn't there?
Oh, I think it's gonna come to a head next week.
Oh yeah, got to.
Because Andrew brought up Dro this week. I think it's got to come up. But also, what made me think about this was on Lauren's show on the Two Woke Girls podcast last week. You and Gabby were talking about like monogamy and stuff, and then you said you took this class on like sexual deviance and like all the different like open relationship type things. And so I was like, which one of these does fucking Dro fall under? And I had no idea, because that nigga would be all over the place.
Thing, because we don't know enough about Candace and what their actual rule set is. It's hard to kind of like classify them, because like I said, there's so many types of ways to be in a poly or open or a non-monogamous relationship. Like, is Candace allowed the same room that he like? You know what I mean? Like, I wish I knew more about what Candace was doing. Like, if I could like count the dicks and pussy that she was getting, I could be like, oh, okay, so they have this type of open relationship. Like, not seeing her, just, I don't know, it just leaves me wanting more. Like, I would love to see like a poly relationship on TV done right, especially on a Black show, because I feel like we have such like, we're so weird about those types of relationships. Right. And I don't even think that everybody needs to be in a poly relationship, but I do think that the communication level and like the emotional openness that it takes to have a successful poly relationship is something that everybody could apply to their relationship. And that was kind of the point of our episode last week, is like, wherever you fall on the mono or on the poly side, we learned some bad habits from monogamy. So I would like to see Candace and Dro like be in a healthy situation as a juxtaposition to like all the drama that everybody else is going through in their little mono relationship.
But here's the thing. This is why I think it's fucked up, because Dro has clearly proven himself to be trash. So I can't take him serious, because he's such a trash nigga. But Andrew was trying to be a good nigga here, and he was being smooth. He was making all the right comebacks, all the little one-liners and shit that were hitting. And I was like, look at this nigga. He is hitting these one-liners. And then he said that like Molly, he ain't think Molly was from the hood. He thought she was from like this bougie part of town. And Molly was like, "No, I'm from Crenshaw." And he was like, "So you out here eating such and such, and you from Crenshaw or something or another?" And then he was like, "Why you was ducking me so long?" And so she lied, because she ain't she wasn't gonna be like, "Cause you Asian, nigga." She was like,
"Yeah,
I was embarrassed because I was on them drugs at Coachella."
Well, she did say she was embarrassed. She did say that, but I mean, there's still more shit behind it. But she was embarrassed though.
And that nigga, I said he was coming on strong, but not too strong. But he was definitely landing on a little thick on that first date. And then I had to notice that Molly's wig was again on fire. She be having the best wigs on the show.
That shit is laid.
She has a nice wig.
Yeah.
Nice wig. It's always good.
It's always good. So, so then Lawrence and Chad come back from hooping, and apparently Chad started some shit in the court. By the way, that nigga is short as fuck.
Fuck. Yes.
So last week they had Lawrence standing next to Dro, and Dro was way taller than him. This week they had Chad standing next to Lawrence, and that nigga looked like he was at least 6 inches shorter than
Bruh, that
fucking
shit
Lawrence.
fucked me up. Because
I
it made
was
me
like-
feel like when I be around you and shit, and I be feeling super small, like, or when I'm with my brother's 6'4", and like I'm 5'9", I be feeling like, yo, this shit ain't right, man. Like, we can't be friends and shit. Like, I can't go places with you and shit. Especially like the way that nigga dapped him up. He swallowed that little nigga. Like, I was like, man, this is my life, man. I was looking through a lens, and I was like, God damn, man, this is why I don't like hanging out with tall niggas, yo.
See, insecure.
You're right. That's my insecurity, yo.
So then,
You know, I got a TI with my shit, yo. I got a solo 6'4" nigga, yo. I go.
Chad was like, fuck's wrong with you? He was like, and Lawrence was like, I just been thinking about some things. And Chad was like, you got a job and you got a TV. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yo.
That was hilarious to me. Like, got this big ass TV. Like, what you crying about, nigga?
What the fuck does that even mean?
I'm like, yo.
You got a TV. Wait, what?
That was like the first thing he said.
Yo, but on some real shit though, like, I know niggas like that because niggas is simple as fuck. Like, dudes is simple as shit, yo.
That is
like,
ultra simple. That is
Like,
so
not simple.
simplistic.
I'm just saying, like, you know, I mean, old school niggas, like, boom, have my food ready, fuck me, and shut the fuck up.
Chad
We
is,
good money.
Chad is definitely that type of person.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
Like, so
absolutely
I
that type
got
person.
that shit.
So Lawrence is like, you know what? I'm gonna be busy. I can't go out tonight because I gotta get up early. And Chad was like, why? And he was like, I think I'm going back to church. And Chad was like, and I started laughing. And Chad was like,
CDJ.
yeah, he said, nigga, you TJ. And he was like, look, he was like, look, you don't need to go back to church. He was like, you in shape. You look like Safari after Nikki.
Yeah, said his hairline. Said his hairline.
Yeah, his
looks
hairline was like
Safari
Safari after Nikki.
after Nikki.
And then Chad was like, you know what? I'm going to go to church because there be bitches in there. And I was like,
Yo.
that is such a
It's
Chad
bitches.
line.
Mad bitches in church.
It is mad bitches in church, though.
This nigga,
It's all
man.
facts.
So then
Niggas
Issa,
speaking all facts.
so, all right, so did y'all think
Oh, no,
Lawrence
first
going
of
to
all,
church
yeah,
was a
no.
good idea?
No, hold on. First of all, this is how you know Chad is fucked up in a fucked up place, right? And he really fucked up out there, like him not getting married or whatever. And he was like, all right, nigga, I go. Like, he's like, because he ain't want to be alone. You can realize, like, Chad ain't want to be alone.
Oh, yeah,
since
that's
the
true.
breakup.
That is
That's why
true.
he wanted him to go out with him that night, because he didn't want to go out by himself.
And last week, Lawrence was like, yo, you hurt? You want to talk? And he was like, nah, nigga, I ain't hurt. Like that type of shit. So, yeah, Chad's clearly hurt. But, you know,
That's
fuck him.
tactic.
He's trash. So, do y'all think Lawrence going to church is a good idea at this point?
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah,
thought,
it's kind of whatever. It's just like I feel like in his situation, some people get introspective, and he just chose to do it through church.
Absolutely. You know what I mean? I've had like phases, not like that, like bad shit happens and I want to go to church or whatever, but like you go for a search within, and you looking for guidance, and you're just looking because Lawrence is lost, and you can tell, like, after that, you know, he got to make all them phone calls. That nigga's way better than everybody in the world, because a lot of people ain't making them phone calls like he was. He made way too many phone calls. Way too many.
Lawrence
Way
trying-
too many.
He trying to find his chakra.
The
and
worst.
shit. So,
Go ahead.
you know, when you're doing that, you know, you look for different things. You start working out, or you go to church, or, you know, you seek different outlets to try to, you know, get your balance right, you know, to align your chakras, you know. So, I mean, I've seen it before, you know what I mean?
Men are socialized to, like, know how to deal with with being lost.
Mhm.
Like, women, as little girls, we are taught to literally doubt ourselves and to doubt everything that, like, we're saying and doing. The imposter syndrome is something that really solely affects women. Like, I know it can affect Black people, but it's mainly a term that you use when you think about women. So when I see Lawrence, like, doing that, I'm like, yeah, that's all y'all niggas, because nobody has told y'all how to cope. Nobody has taught y'all how to deal when, like, life is out of sorts for you. And so I just think it's interesting in that aspect because, like, niggas love Lawrence. Like, niggas love Lawrence, but they can never see his faults or his flaws. Not in a way like women. We be on Issa ass. We be on Issa and Molly's asses. Niggas love to hype Lawrence stuff. And I was like, yeah, y'all are not even able to, like, self-reflect. Like, Issa's trying to show, look, he got a job, he got an apartment, he fucking mad bitches, and he's still not happy. Like, all the things that y'all are, like,
and got a whole ass
like, on a
STI.
quest for.
God damn, you didn't even hit the new shit. You ain't even say.
Like,
You ain't even say. Y'all know y'all with it. Y'all said the STI shit. Y'all didn't want to go with the D. Y'all want to go with the I. Like, all right.
This is why I said no to that.
I've ever seen in my life. Lawrence literally had the top 5 saddest threesome on TV. Like,
that was terrible.
That was
trash. That was terrible. But he's still out here fucking everybody.
Hey,
like,
I ain't mad at him.
And just big hole in his heart, can't plug it up, and he don't know what to do now.
With just slinging dick willy nilly, like all a bitch gotta do is just look at him on the treadmill, and then this whole church thing. And then this whole church thing, like, it's cool that he's going to church, but I feel like him latching on to this girl is still going into, like, bad habits. Like, maybe he won't sleep with her, but he's still latching on to her. It's like he can't stand on his own just by himself. So he's latching on to another woman.
Yeah. This is why I said church is a bad idea. I'm like, that's why I said him going is a bad idea.
I don't think it is.
Because but hear me out. This is why I'm saying no. Him going, not going back to church. I'm talking about him going back.
I mean, that's who he is.
I'm talking about him. No. Him, Lawrence. Because here it is. You're like, I'm going to go to this building and it's going to make me feel better. And he left
exactly. That's how I
felt. It's like, you didn't go for the right reason. Don't go because you had to call 9 women about your chlamydia. Don't go back because you have a urine.
That's like the people who that's like the people who don't never, like, if you like real religious, if you claim to be religious, but you don't never do anything, and then like something bad happens, and you just like, I gotta go back to church. I'm showing up at church Sunday. I'm like,
gotta refill the tank.
I don't know if that's gonna do it for you, buddy.
But no, he was more so turned off from the message. He was getting lost in the metaphors. He was like, everybody else is kind of feeling this shit.
He's an ass shouldn't have been there.
Well, we'll get to that because that fucking sermon was not inspiring at all.
Not at all. But like, my thing is about what Shante was saying was like, yeah, this nigga's fucking long. Like, this is about another reason I get mad at tall niggas, yo. Tall niggas get the benefit of the doubt, yo. Tall niggas always out here.
You sound like you got some internal issues to deal with, bro.
Hey, look, man, I'm vulnerable, nigga. I tell you, nigga, tall niggas, man, y'all be out here winning, yo, and I be mad, yo.
You might have to start wearing boots in the summer.
Oh, wow. I ain't doing that. Cause bro, my brother is 6'4". You gotta realize, my whole life I didn't look up to a nigga that's 6'4", and I'm on the ground, nigga. Please, yo, I was so good.
All right, nigga. All right, this is not your therapy
session. Oh my God, Devin.
It's sports, yo.
Go back to church.
Yo, 6 foot. If I was 6 foot, I'd been out here. I'd have been worse than Lawrence. Anyway, go ahead.
You on Lawrence's level. What you doing?
That's why God humbled you. He humbled you.
You're right. I always say that. God knew what he was doing. God knew what he was doing.
That's why I don't got a whole lot of ass and can't dance, because I would not act right. I would be stripping. I'd have been like, fuck school and everything. Nigga, throw these dollars at me. Like, no, God know what he doing.
He do.
So
Drake would have been making songs about me. Go to him.
He been trying to retire your jersey, okay?
Right? And I'd have been like, ain't no nigga gonna retire me. That'd have been me. I'd have been selling y'all skinny bitch tea and everything.
Oh, man.
See, this is what I like. Issa having dreams again. Her teeth, she was like, my teeth just running away from me. I was like, all right. And then she was like, let me take a picture of myself so Nathan don't forget how fine I am. And then our first comment is fucking them all, calling her thirsty and shit. That nigga,
you need your brother, yo. That's what you need. That's what you need your brother for.
Amal need to hang out with Kelly more because them two are funny as shit. So then Issa,
they could really have a show.
Yes, they absolutely could have a show. And then Issa is driving, and she got her phone. Issa got her phone on, like, you know how like your phone turned to black, like the power save. She clearly got power save off just so that bitch stay on the whole time. And she got that shit on her Instagram pic while she driving in the fucking lift. She ain't even got the GPS up. She got the fucking Instagram app up, waiting for a message to pop up. And then fucking Frida comments. I said, where the fuck is Frida coming from? Like, what? She came back out of nowhere. I got that same
shirt. Frida made that. My whole heart would have broke when she said that shit. I was like, well, looks like I gotta change. Take another picture. Like,
you gotta take it off and burn it right there, like your brother said. Like, you just gotta stop at the red light and be like, fuck this shirt.
So then Issa started questioning herself. She was like, is it because I fucked him in the Ferris wheel? It's because I jumped in the pool naked? It's because I talked to him about my issues? So I was like,
Or the random facts about the camels.
Oh, yeah, the random facts about the camels.
The camel facts.
And I was like, that's some, that's got to be real fucked up to have a significant other fucking your head up like that, where you just start thinking about all the things you did and thinking it's your fault. Like, that's the real fucked up part about the ghosting shit. Like, at least tell me. Like, if it's something I did, tell me. Be like, yeah, nigga, you weird. Like, or some shit like that. But don't just leave, because then I'm thinking, like, what the fuck did I do?
Right.
I mean, it's like
they established something.
Yes.
Right.
And I think that just, and I know it's like, I'm going to sound like a robot when I say this, but I feel like that's part of the issue within, like, and I don't want to blame monogamy for everything, but, like, why do you feel like you need that type of, I don't know, like that type of closure and validation from somebody who's showing you you're not a priority? You know what I mean? Like, bar him being in the hospital, dead in a coma, like, when he did call, what the fuck was she going to say? Was she just going to be cool with it? Like, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
like,
she probably lost it.
Point. After like a week, and then he just called all of a sudden. It's like, are you gonna be cool if he call, or are you gonna like cuss his ass out?
Yeah. Like, and not to say I'm hating, but just like, damn, Issa, come on.
It's like, girl, it's like, I didn't know what her end game was. It's like, you're really obsessed about him not calling you, but if he did call you after not talking to you for a week, what were you gonna say to him?
So do you think Issa would have lashed out?
I think that's where it was. That's where I was having my issues at, because I was like, so what if he does answer the phone, or what if he, if he wasn't this one? Like, well, what do you say? Because I feel like nothing he could have said was gonna be a good enough response, other than that. Oh yeah, bitch, I had warrants, tickets, and I went to jail. Like, that's all a nigga could really say at that point. Is
right.
I had some shit going on.
Well, that's a common belief. They think he's in jail. A lot of people think he's in, like, all the people that
in jail though.
All the people that want to ship them, they think he's in jail.
He went to jail because I'm from Houston, and I just know how Houston niggas do, and niggas still go to jail on that ass.
He was my
and
thing.
And then pop up a year later, like
ain't nothing wrong, like nothing happened.
And then nigga just disappeared, and then I saw him again, and I was like, what happened? He was like, I got kicked out and I went to alternative school. And I was like, well, damn, nigga, and that's pretty much like jail. So yeah, it happened. It happened.
But this is why I didn't think he was in jail, because he called, like, Lyft talk to him. So that's why I was like, how can he be in jail if he talked to them?
And then this episode, they showed him cutting some nigga's head.
Yeah, so it's like, so he ain't in jail and he ain't dead.
He clearly ain't in jail, so it ain't going to be, I don't know what the reason going to be. So then
it's going to be so whack if that nigga pop back up and it's like, oh, I just liked you too much, head ass shit.
Listen,
I'm going to be so mad if that's what his excuse is going to be.
I'm hoping for...
Here we go.
Issa, no, it's not that. It's not that. I'm hoping for Issa to throw this block party, and I'm hoping for Lawrence, Daniel, and Nathan to all show up.
Daniel ain't God.
Yeah, Daniel with goals. I don't know.
Look, Daniel gonna show up because there's music involved. That nigga gonna show up. I'm trying to tell you.
Right.
Shit gonna be great. So then Nathan had to pick with his mom, and I was like, I don't blame you, Issa, because she looked like she was like 30.
No, I knew it was his mother. Like.
Why?
I knew it was going to be a mom or a sister. Like, it wasn't going to be that easy. It wasn't going to be that. And a nigga that's that suspicious and mysterious, he ain't putting no bitches on social media. That ain't his kin.
He must also have a white daddy, because his mom was definitely dark brown skin.
Why can't have a Sinbad daddy?
He could have a light daddy. He can't
have a Sinbad daddy.
I mean, he could have a Sinbad daddy.
He might be Creole like Beyonce.
I'm saying, you know, he got the orange hair on his face and shit. So I mean,
oh my god.
He do. I mean,
he a ginger nigga.
All right, so this is one of the questions. This is one of the questions I have for you guys. Does a stalker profile like exist? Is that like a thing?
Yes, you definitely have a burner account.
Yeah.
That's a burner account.
See, I only know burner accounts with like athletes and shit. I didn't know that was like a thing.
Yo, you tripping?
No. That's a real thing. It just depends on what it is, because there's some people who have them like really to stalk people, and then some people have burner accounts for like bullshit. Like you got an extra account for, you got an extra account to be messy. You got an extra account because you want to play Candy Crush. Like you want to send tickets to yourself and shit. So it's just there's all kinds of reasons
real.
To have.
I think you're telling on yourself.
Well, yeah, I am telling on myself. It's cool. I got like 3 accounts. I don't have to send tickets to motherfuckers who have stopped playing the game. I just log in, blah, 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 blah. You know, I can keep on moving on Candy Crush without me. I'm not impeded. But I just think there's people who do have burner accounts for some bullshit. Like there's people who probably on Twitter that got burner accounts because they get blocked so much, so they got to be able to log into the other one so they can see
that's the
what
shit right there. So
what somebody said.
So Issa texts Kelly.
They got to create another account.
Issa texts Kelly because she couldn't log in, and Kelly was like,
To the
"Oh, I
group, they
changed
got
the
a group.
password. It's
I got
slapperho64." That's what she said. The
Shit was
password
hilarious.
That was funny to me that they shared an account. Like that was hilarious to me. Like y'all, I don't know.
I
Wow.
So, do y'all think Tiffany's in that chat, or is that the group chat she banned from?
No, she just texted. I think she just texted Kelly.
No, she texted the group.
Oh, okay.
She said, did anybody change the group past the stalker password? So I want to know if Tiffany in that account, in that chat, or is she banned from that one too?
Oh man, I think she in that.
I feel like
but,
Tiffany would judge them for having burner accounts.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, you were
That's
absolutely right. So
definitely a
she is
Tiffany
not.
So,
But yeah,
That's childish. Like I could just hear her.
yeah.
Oh my
Because
God,
women-
y'all doing this?
Yeah.
so
Women really do be checking for
It'll be some
niggas.
funny shit. Like she be the one who started it originally, but then now she's above it. Like
see, here's the thing: men wouldn't do that because men aren't smart enough to play it cool.
Stupid as fuck.
Like
yeah.
they wouldn't know how to do it. It'd be so obvious how niggas talk. Like a woman can easily get a nigga to fuck up with that, easily. And Lawrence, I mean, apparently Nathan didn't do it.
So many women has caught they niggas cheating, doing that shit to them. Like, I'm gonna see what this nigga about to be on.
Isn't that what that song was about? What was that song? The fucking it was on Guardians of the Galaxy. The fucking like I like walks on the beach and pina colada. Isn't that the pina colada song?
Oh yeah, if you're like pina colada.
Yeah, that song was like the nigga wrote a fucking. I mean, she wrote an ad. No, she wrote an ad in the paper, acting like some other woman, and then her husband fucking responded to that ad, but didn't know it was her. And then he got all excited and like, I found the love of my life, and then she showed up and he couldn't believe it was her or some shit. That's what the song's about. If you listen to it.
That's
it's
awesome, yo.
That's what the song is about.
You just learned something. Y'all just dropped some gems, yo. Goddamn, I did not know that shit.
So then so the next thing was Chad and Lawrence at church. And I was like, this nigga Chad is so trash. He out here scouting women in church. Just like, look at her.
I mean, if you ain't never been there before, you got to see what you got to do. You got to see what the congregation look like.
So here's the thing. I think it's pretty common that a lot of men go to church for the women because there's most of the people at church are women. However, I never went to church with a nigga who's actively in church just like scouting. Like, all right, so you're going to be number 3, and then I'm going to go to you first, and then if that don't work out, I got
that's how a lot of the pastors be moving. They be looking at their
That is how the pastors be moving.
That is definitely how the pastors be moving.
You. I'm going to come pray for your husband, and then I'm going to fuck you. Like, no, these niggas out here is straight.
Especially in the South. Let me tell you.
In the South, oh my God.
Where my family's from, in the country of Virginia, them pastors was lit.
Being a pastor is like being a politician. Like, nigga, that's clout.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like...
And I mean clout like in the pre-millennial usage of the word.
Yes.
And I was like, the luckiest person on this show is Chad's fiance, because she got out.
She got out.
She was like, fuck this.
So then I was like,
that's the show I want to watch.
So,
I
then the pastor started talking, and this nigga's talking about Instagram. He's like, you need to slide out them DMs and into one of these pews. And I was like...
Which I thought that was dumb.
I was like, I'd have walked out of this nigga.
That shit funny Cause he the damn uncle off of Atlanta, and all I see ATL, and all I see is T.I. in that nigga face. Like, this is my daddy house. Like, I can't say anything.
And I'm like, he didn't even get excited. Like, listen, when I used to go, when I was growing up, I used to go to church in the country. These niggas used to be sweating, like getting all hyped and doing the holy dances. And, I ain't see none of that. Like, and so then the next, so then the nigga did. So this is basically the end of the sermon apparently, because then he's like, the doors of the church are open, right. And they peeing over to Chad, and this nigga Chad's catching the Holy Ghost, and I was like, first I thought, this nigga faking just so he can meet some women. And
so he can go up and see some bitch.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But apparently, he must have really been feeling that shit. So,
bruh, that man is hurt, yo. Like, you can see it. Like, and I'm telling you, like, Lawrence ain't need to be there like Chad need to be there. Chad need to talk to somebody. Chad need a whole therapist, like, and for him to like feel like somebody understand what he going through. And like he feel like he can get a refuge. That man jumped up and was like, I'm straight. That shit was everything.
He probably shouldn't have titty fucked them strippers.
Shouldn't have.
So then you go to Molly in the crib, and then Torian calls her, and he like, I got this expedited hearing, so I'm gonna be late. So you gotta postpone this fucking presentation. And Molly was like, we're supposed to present. Let's say present.
We're supposed to presentate.
We're supposed to present. And then
I know you saying it
now. Yeah, you know what I was saying. And then this nigga was like, "No, you gonna hold that shit up." And I'm like, "This is such a Morehouse nigga. Like, I'm never gonna let that shit go. He is such a nigga from Morehouse." Matter of fact, like, I was looking at jobs the other day, and I was talking to my wife, and because I work at a college, and I was like, "Maybe I should go work at another college. I'm trying to move down south." And then so I was like, "You know what? I'd like to work at an HBCU because that'd be kind of cool. Because I'm tired of being around these white people." And
God damn, we said that shit with chest. Boy, he said it with his chest, didn't he?
So we was like, all right, and so I was like, all right, because we only want to live in like cities that we want to live. So we pull up Atlanta, and I was like, the first thing that came up was like, there's more Spelman. I was like, oh, Spelman be cool. And then Morehouse, I was like, nope. And she was like, you don't want to work in Morehouse? I was like, that is not my crowd. I don't not want no parts of the Morehouse niggas at all.
I grew up in Jacksonville, so like that ain't me. That ain't me. I used to tell my parents, like, y'all are wasting so much money on this shit every month because I am not gonna turn out right. I'm telling you, I'm not. Like, I've already no. I was born ratchet. Like, some people coming to this earth bougie. I came here wrong, but yeah. So that ain't my crowd.
That is not for me, buddy. So I was
I swear, listen to y'all talk. I would not think that you were one of those people. I thought, you had your shit together, but like, okay, you was born wrong. You got a little ratchet in you. I didn't know.
Nigga, do you listen to the show?
Don't know what happened. I'm a black sheep in my family. My grandparents went to college. Like, I come from a super educated family. I was in Jacksonville. My mom was a Delta. My dad is a Q. Like, all of that. All the trappings of the nice black people, and I just rejected all of that shit. Like, my first boyfriend came to pick me up from middle school in a dope fiend rental. Like,
oh, shit.
I've been trash, yeah. I'm better now. I'm less trash, but like, nah. In the streets, thumbnails, Chinese bangs, blades.
Yo,
I was doing
you are no longer trash.
I would leave home with my backpack and glasses and shit on, and then like, as soon as I got to school, I put my hood outfit on, and then I would be like, looking at watching the evening. I go back to white girl, put my glasses and shit back on. Yeah, I was looking at the white girl.
Oh, so you was like Nunu.
Exactly.
I was Nunu, except I went to the black school, but like my whole life was fake. Yeah, I was Nunu. Okay. I would be out in the projects after school, like letting people mamas do my hair. Like, people, families knew me and everything, and we would go to places, like go to shit at school. My parents like, how do you know these people? Like, I don't know. I just know from class.
Oh my gosh.
So
that's why I tell people, don't be real with your kids, because they will fuck up. They will find a way to fuck up. Like, my parents were strict, and I found ways to fuck up. I ain't did it, so I'm going to not get off topic, but so my senior year, everybody go to prom. I had an older boyfriend, the guy I'm married to now. I wanted to spend the night with him. Parents was not going to do that. So what did I do? I made a fake invitation to a party that did not exist. I didn't give it to my parents. I dropped it in the mailbox and let my parents find it. And my mom was like, why you don't want to go to Devin and Steph? And I was like, well, I didn't think you were going to let me go because it was at a hotel and it's all night long. And she was like, well, you're 18, you're a senior, and that's what y'all do. And I was like, okay,
Oh
Mom.
my God.
Was this my ass?
Wow.
Lauren is a master tactician.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is good shit.
You are
That's
a
G
master
shit. Right?
tactician.
My kids will never be able to do anything. Like, I just know everything now. Like, don't lie to me. Just tell me you got to go get some dick so I can help you, because you got to lie and get pregnant.
Yo, legit, I got progressive parents and shit, and they knew they boy was out here getting it in. So for my ring dance and my prom, I got hotels, like, and I was like legit 17, like, and 16 and shit like that. So like, yeah, like my parents was with it. I mean, I'm just blessed. I guess boys are different than girls though, so it's a double standard.
So do y'all think?
It is.
So Steph, you think Tori and Molly still gonna fuck?
Let me tell you something. After that look he gave her, no. Because he was big mad. Oh, and by the way, the actor that plays Torian, he searches his name. Because I had tweeted about him last night and he responded. And I'm like, and I had added him. I was like, whoop, bitch, Torian is pissed. He's like, right? I'm like, wait, what?
That's cool shit though. That's cool shit.
But that's the thing. If you like are like live tweeting Insecure and mention anything about Torian, he answers everybody.
Well, good for him.
That's funny. Now I'm about to just troll that nigga.
Wow.
So then they went back to Chad and Lawrence at the church. And Chad, I was like, this nigga was like, all right then, nigga, I see y'all later, niggas, just talking like that in the fucking church. It was so funny. And then he was like, I'll catch up with you later. I just kind of caught it. Just kind of hit me. And so out of nowhere, this fine ass woman rose up on Lawrence. And I was like, where did she come from? Like, was she spotting that nigga the whole time in the fucking service?
Probably.
Probably.
That's the thing about Chad going into the church. Like, it's messed up that Chad is going into the church trying to scope women, at least obviously initially. But at the same time, women are in church trying to choose a dude. They choose it
all day.
So he's in the right so it's unfortunate that he's in the wrong place and yet in the right place. Because he is, because they are just, it's possible that they would be just as receptive to him if he came the right way. Now, I don't know if he can come like, hey, let's fuck. But I think that's the whole thing with Lawrence. It's just like, that's why that girl rolls up on him. Cause like, that's a tall black man. He fine. He looked like he got, I didn't want to say it, but still.
But in that real life though, like how many times
real life?
That really is
for
his
like
nice
real life.
friend.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I used to be in the singles ministry at my church, and when we would have events, it was mostly women, and we were always trying to get guys to come. And one guy just told me, he's like, yeah, I kind of don't come to these things because it's mostly women, and some of them can be a little bit aggressive. And I was like, really? Like, what? And I'm like,
that man was about the book. He was here to be spiritually fed, and you women was out here lusting.
Oh. And the thing about it is, because I was always on the planning committee of the events, I'm like, I wasn't really mingling like that. So I was like, oh, that's new. I didn't realize that.
Oh, no, it's happening.
He sound like a sucker to me.
They out here mingling.
No, they out here doing it, yo. Real talk, like and they out here like being real hypocrites about the shit. You know what I mean? That's the thing about it with these single groups and these church people. They be real messy.
That nigga sound like a real sucker to me. I ain't gonna lie.
Nah, yo, he right though.
Like
he right.
Real sucker. Which reminds me, at this point, Lawrence was being smooth as shit with this woman, and I was like, when did he stop being so corny? Because Lawrence was a fucking herd.
When he got that good job.
Yeah, definitely when he got that good job. When you got the big dick confidence, you know what I mean? You saw what he did to Tasha. You saw it. I can give you anybody confidence.
By the way, I think Tasha's coming back next week.
You think so?
Listen, at one point in that preview, somebody said, hey, Lawrence, and then they pan the camera, but they don't show you.
You know what? She could come back. It's a whole bunch of motherfuckers that probably could come back because Issa's having a block party. Mm-hmm. It's like, why wouldn't people go to that event? Yes. Whether or not they know it's Issa or not, they're going to come. So that it makes sense there will be a lot of people that everybody would come. Everybody would show up.
And that's a great cliffhanger. Like, that's a great cliffhanger to leave it off on for us to wait the whole time for season 4 to come.
Yes.
Oh man.
Like when Brandy on Moesha, when they invited all her niggas to her birthday party. Like, that's still a great episode.
That's true.
Like, I feel like one.
Man, we are
That
really
was my
going back to the 90s and this shit. This is crazy.
Wow.
Man.
So,
See, that's just making me think of sitting up in my room. Donald's downstairs.
Yo.
Donald is downstairs.
so then Andrew and Molly were on another date, and Molly was talking to her about her issues with Tori and this shit, and she feel like Tori micromanaging her, and he was like, well, you should fuck him up then. And she was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, well, Molly Square told me she'll beat a nigga's ass sometimes.
He was a bully.
And so she was like, I don't really remember shit from that. And he was like, oh, you don't remember? And she was like, nah, except that you tried to audition for B2K. And I was like, yo.
And I thought that nigga would have been perfect, yo. That's what I was thinking. I was like,
that shit was funny.
I was like, oh, they did auditions? That's all I was thinking. I was like, wait, what? Y'all weren't friends before?
My man Chris Stokes was like, who the fuck I want to fuck? What little boy ass I want to fuck right here?
Damn.
Wait, no.
You
Wait,
soon?
because
Too soon?
There.
I'm just saying.
thought the members, some of the members of B2K were related.
That's what I thought. No, that's what I
Chris Stokes
thought
was out here
too.
fucking that little butt though. He was fucking the little butt.
Oh,
Oh
all
my
right.
God. So
I'm trying to get Brandon sued.
this is what I'm talking about. See,
That's something that ruined my childhood. I was looking at some old
No.
immature pictures, and I was like, yeah, only a pedophile would pose these children like this. Like,
Damn.
that's not
You
funny,
just
but
fucked my
it's
shit
true.
up now. Damn, that's
forlorn.
yep.
So then,
He had them niggas like laying in the bed together with their drawers on. Like,
Yeah.
only a
It's a lot of bad.
pedophile.
It's a lot of bad shit now. You just thought about it. I just we lived that.
Yeah,
Thank you.
it's a lot of questionable imagery with them with their shirts all open and everything, and just
So then,
We gonna all need to see a therapist after this episode.
so then Molly was like, I also remember that you slept with your best friend's woman. And he was like, oh yeah. He was like, that's interesting coming from somebody who fucked a married man. And I was like, so here's the thing. Every week we talk about Molly, right? Every week we talk about Molly and her getting in her feelings. I thought Molly got in her feelings again. Am I wrong here?
Oh no, she
No.
definitely did.
no.
No,
It's
she
not
definitely
real,
got in her
bro.
feelings.
Because I feel like
It
she
was-
came at him, and then he was just like kind of being funny coming back at her, but she was ultra sensitive about
He
that
just clapped
shit.
back.
But this is why you don't do that. See, this is what kills me about people who want to talk shit to each other as far as being in a relationship, because it's just like this is what happens. It gets ugly. Somebody hits whatever your little thing is, and now you feeling some kind of way. You done talked all that shit to them, and it was embarrassing to them, but they didn't take it, they didn't take it to the heart. But now somebody says something about you that's kind of close in the same vein, and you got your lip poked out, and it's whack. Stop doing that shit. Stop, that's not, for one, I don't really think that type of shit is intimacy. Like I know some people do think that it's intimacy, but I feel like the fact that it could go into such an ugly place doesn't come at me as far as intimacy is concerned. Intimacy should always be going into a positive place. If that shit can go left like that, that's not intimacy.
Nigga,
I mean, the people that know you both got the codes to the nuclear bomb, yo. I got you, nigga. I know you.
they were going so smooth, and that shit hit a screeching halt. And so Molly was definitely feel some type of way about Dro, even though she pretends to be over it. And then Andrew, and she was like, you don't even know what the fuck really happened. So Andrew was like, so tell me what happened. And so she was just basically like, we just kind of didn't work out. He wasn't completely honest with me or something. And then Andrew was like, so a married man led you on. And I was like, Jesus Christ, that is not the right thing to say.
But the thing about it is,
That's real though. Like,
what did you think he was going to say? You're not saying that I slept with a married man who's in an open relationship. You just said I slept with a married man.
Yes, exactly.
It's like that is two different things. So
Right.
I'm sorry. I thought it was hella funny when he said it because I'm like, well, I mean, facts. It's like,
But here's the thing,
Go ahead.
Andrew was fucking up
And I think
because
she left that out because I feel like she has a hang up. She really does have a hang up about being in that situation.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
And that's why I guess
I don't know if she thinks it's perverted, but I feel like she has more of a hang. I don't want to say that she would rather him be having an affair, but she just seems like she has an issue with that, like that he's not miserable and cheating on his wife. That no, this is just something that they do, and I just maybe because she feels like an option. Because like why would you leave that big part out, and why would you never bring that up? Like first of all, I ain't out here being no mistress. No, this is something that his wife knows is cool.
Yeah.
That was a great opportunity to leave that open. And then if this is somebody you're trying to pursue something with, you don't want to give that off. Like, yeah, I run around with, married niggas. Like, no, clear that shit up.
And I think that's why, like, the fact that she felt such a way about the situation that she was in with Dro made me feel like that Dro and Candace really did have an understanding that there wasn't any drama between them and what Dro was doing. Candace was fine. Every time you seen Candace was grinning. Candace was happy. Candace is pregnant now. It's like they're fine. The issue was really Molly. Molly could not handle that Dro was being upfront and saying, like, look, this is what we got going on. Candace knows. Candace doesn't feel any kind of way. Like, every time Molly came up on Candace, it almost seemed like she's bracing herself for some shit. Yes. And the shit never popped off. Yeah, it never popped off.
She was literally waiting for Candace to punch her in the face, and it's not going to happen. It's like, baby, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. See, you are new to this.
Girl might be going home and giving her a play-by-play. Like,
exactly, and you don't know that.
So, I am the one who always wants some fuck shit to happen on the show. So first I wanted Issa.
So you be waiting on it.
Yeah, first I wanted
You
Issa
want Candace to punch her in the face.
No. See, you're not even gonna know what I'm about to say. First I wanted Issa to be pregnant by fucking Nathan when they fucked in the Ferris wheel.
Oh no!
You want a mess.
You want the show to be over.
But listen, I know, because that will fuck the internet up, right? But this is even better. I want fucking Candace to be pregnant by her side nigga, and not Dro.
Ooh, that would be. Now I could watch that. Like,
I'm here for that. I'm here for that. That's good, Brandon. Ooh.
That's what I want.
That's good. That's good.
But they're not gonna do that shit because it's too good.
No.
So Molly was like, I don't give a fuck about Dro, and I was like, yeah, you do.
You lying.
And then she was like, you know what? I want to leave. And she just got up and left. And this nigga was like, but baby.
Please.
Like, you just gonna leave? I'm like, this is the first date, girl. I'm like, it's like you don't hear yourself when you talk. What did you think he was going to say?
That's because Molly don't know how to, well, one, Molly don't know how to take a joke. She don't know how to deal with she don't know how to deal with shit.
Nope.
And she stays shooting herself in the foot when it comes to dating. It's just like
in life, in her workplace, she do the same shit.
Yeah, same thing. It's like she can't align herself with anybody for too long without feeling like, oh no, fuck that. You gotta get rid of that motherfucker.
Let me mess this shit up. Let me just mess it up.
And my thing is, like, I don't even understand how she has friends.
Right.
How does she have friends? Like, other than her being these day ones, how does she can have friends? Because every time we see her on the show, she seems to mess an interaction up with other humans.
But sometimes she be real, like at the end with Issa. So I can see that. But I just think she's got a problem with self-confidence. And, well, not just self-confidence, but also a problem with, like, attention. Like, she
give me that Virgo energy.
I don't even know what that is. Are you talking about Queen Beyonce right now? Beyonce.
I'm just saying, like, Molly, she's like, because I'm a Libra. I'm fleety all over the place. I don't know how to make plans, can't do shit. So I surround myself literally with Sagittarius and Virgos because they can get shit done and they can just be upfront and forward. But the Virgos that I know can fix everybody else's shit, but they shit be in shambles. And you don't know their shit is in shambles all the time. That's what I just get from her. She just seems like she can fix Issa, she can fix everybody else, but she cannot handle Molly. And that's that Virgo energy. That's what's wrong with her, and she can't change that.
Yeah, I giving y'all astrology on this podcast. I appreciate it.
So Issa having dreams again. And as soon as she wake up, Nathan on her mind. I'm like, come on, Issa, man. I'm like, you cannot wake up thinking about this nigga. Come on. Like, push past this shit.
Houston niggas will do that.
And so
I'm lying.
I'm about to say, damn. I was like, wow. You about to make a whole PSA for these Houston niggas right now.
He from the Southwest. Like, that really don't count to me. He out there with, like, Travis Scott and them. I'm from the Southeast side. I'm from Third Ward, where Beyonce say she from. So that I don't. Yeah, them niggas.
Where she say she from? Well, goddamn, hold on. What's the truth?
Well, technically, the house that she talks about on Parkwood, that's the same street my granddaddy lived on, and that's technically Third Ward is more like South Union, which is still the hood. It's just like, you know how people be got their boundaries or whatever. So it's technically South Union. It's the greater Third Ward area, but that's really like more of on the South Union. So that's why
you gotta throw that landmark out there. You know what I mean? Like, cause if I tell niggas
if you're gonna say something to everybody though, you're gonna say Third Ward and not South Union, because don't nobody know what South Union is outside of Houston.
Yep.
See,
so
like people don't know what Kissville is.
Yellowstone. It's more like Yellowstone.
Issa. Go ahead. All right. So Issa was looking at the same damn pictures just over and over again. I'm like, get out the house. Like, go do something. Just stop looking at these fucking pictures. And then he found a picture of this nigga cutting somebody's hair. And I was like, all right, so this nigga out here cutting hair.
Yo,
I don't know what this nigga's up to.
For 2 seconds, right? I love this part because Issa woke up with the I gotta get shit done hair, and she looked like a whole woman that lost it, that went off the deep end. And they kept the hair, it was unfixed, it was out of place a little bit, and it was perfect. Like, I love the detail they played to match her emotion in this whole little what we about to go through right now. Like, it was great.
Okay, so this is the part where I'm going to basically let Lauren, Steph, and Shante take over. But, so I'm just going to play by play because I need some answers. So, Issa calls Molly. They show up at Andrew's house in Burbank to see if Nathan's there. They fake went to this dessert place to use an excuse. And in Issa's mind, she's second guessing everything while she's sitting in the car. And so then they walk up to the door, and Issa busts out like, "Hey, Andrew, blah, 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 blah. We came by to stop by." And Molly was like, "I wanted to apologize." And blah, blah, blah. Fix things.
That. Well, Molly didn't even apologize.
She didn't say that.
No, what she said?
Peace offering. She said
peace offering.
I just want to.
Offering.
Right. And then said, I just wanted to talk. I'm like,
and
you gonna say I'm sorry?
Issa head, she was like, "Is Nathan here or something?" And he was like, "Nathan not here." And then she was like, "This nigga lying."
No, he said, "What y'all doing in here?" He said, "I'm here by myself."
Oh yeah, and she was like, "This nigga
lying."
Because
he was looking hella suspicious, like almost like him and Nathan had a conversation about Issa or something. Because he was looking real confused.
I mean, they did just show up at that nigga house.
Yeah, I mean, but it was, it's Issa and Molly, so he could have been looking some kind of way because it was just like, okay, well, I guess Molly don't want to fuck with me after that date, and now you here.
Yeah, now you here the next day, and so
company.
Issa fake having to use the bathroom. This nigga's like, "It's a bathroom right here." He was like, "Oh, all right," and she just walked up the steps. I was like, "Jesus."
Like a crazy person.
Like that, yes, like a crazy person. Exactly what I was thinking. And so I was like, Andrew not dumb. He knows something up. So this nigga Issa is running through this man's house, like all upstairs,
and that's Andrew's house,
doors and shit. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable. Like, this shit was making me so uncomfortable watching the scene. And she was like, I don't know if he in there. What if he with somebody else? And she was like, if he with somebody else, I'm gonna murder his dick.
That shit was everything, yo.
And so then they came back to Molly, and I was like, then Molly is looking fine in these pants. I don't know why, just the angle. And then Molly was pretending she came there to talk, and Andrew was like, "Well, I think you fucked up, because you just left me and shit."
With the real Molly, like,
yeah, who's the real Molly? Because I think both of them fucked up right now, is what he said. And so Issa was upstairs doing some like CSI shit in Nathan's room, and first of all, she was about to look through that nigga's trash can. What the fuck was she gonna find in the trash can?
Looking for a condom.
A used condom.
That's
what she was looking for.
Yeah.
Fucking.
Damn, Brandon, you've been out the game too long, man. Because I knew I seen all this. I didn't see women do all this before. I didn't see the woman do it in my bedroom. Like, what you looking for? Like, oh god. But anyway, when you drive women to this point, this is what they want. This is what they want.
I don't know nothing about that life, buddy. So then
count your blessings.
And so I was like, I gotta admit, I ain't never done this before. So have any of you guys been driven to this point? Because I know, Lauren, you was talking about on the show the other week how, like, when your husband, when you first got to college and shit, you was checking up on him, all types of shit. So were you ever to this point?
So we got together, I think when I was 17. So I know for like that first those first like 6 or 7 months, because he lived on his own. He was grown. He had an apartment and everything. I was hella insecure about that because I had parents. I had rules. I had to be a kid. And so, like, I was constantly trying to, like, hack into his stuff. I mean, to a point where he just gave me the passwords. He was like, Lauren, look, here, like, I ain't doing shit. And I was like, nigga, you ain't gonna tell on yourself. But, yeah, I was a little out there. And then it just took me, first of all, like, I had to come to, like, a realization with myself, like, why do I want that type of drama? Like, I need to just ask him if he's cheating. If he's not, first of all, what am I going to do? Am I going to leave? Obviously not, because I'm up here crazy going through his stuff. I don't know. It was weird, but I'm so glad, like, I grew out of that, because I know, like, I have friends my age who still are doing that shit. Like, still, like, girl, send him a DM and see if he responds to you kind of shit. Like, no, we're not doing that. Let that nigga go. But that's something I had to learn about. I had to learn about me. So I was like, no, I'm good enough for somebody just to be with me. I don't have to hunt nobody down. I don't have to, like, stalk nobody. Because if I have to do that, that means he's just really not into me. And I think that's, like, we don't ever want to have that real conversation with ourselves. Like, we don't want to say, well, maybe that nigga just ain't fucking with you because you just ain't what he want or whatever. But yeah, I'm delivered. I'm totally delivered from things right now.
I'm delivered.
I feel like, girl, look, can you just like get some groceries and come pick these kids up when you come get him too, so I can be by myself? Cool. Like,
Amen.
Keep that nigga all night.
Ooh, child.
Steph, Shante, you ever been driven to this point or close to it?
Oh, I have.
You said that so matter of fact.
Because nigga, that's real.
The whole time Lauren was talking, I was like, fuck, I have a story. Shit. It was an ex, and he was not answering the phone. Like, I called him. Now, mind you, he lived on the other side of town. I got in my whole ass car and drove to his house and banged on the door till he opened the door.
Damn.
I'm like, oh, you're alive?
Wow.
And he was like, what? I'm like, oh, I was asleep. I don't want to hear that shit. I was so mad. I was like, I don't want to hear that shit. I haven't heard from you since last night. Yes, I went that far.
Have you been delivered to?
Oh, I've been delivered. I wish the fuck I would waste any gas on these niggas.
Oh, yeah.
I waste no gas on these niggas. I'm like, do you know how much gas is? I mean, it's $2.79 here, but that's not in this economy. Fuck that. Like, oh, you ain't going. Like, oh,
all these tariffs we got to get levied.
Delete. Fuck you. Nope.
Oh wow.
Absolutely not.
Devin, have you ever done that?
Oh no, I ain't. You know, first of all, I'll be the nigga doing fuck shit. So I mean, should have came home a couple times. Like, oh damn, what's going on? You said what? Why you looking? You think something going on? Oh, I mean, so yeah, I'm good. But I mean, I'm much better, man. I'm much better now. I told myself when I turned like 22 that I won't go hurt women no more. So I became celibate. For like a year and like 9 months, and then took another, like, you know, had a little vacation, and then came back to it for like another like year. So yeah, just women being crazy, like, you know, but you know, it's the suspicion of your actions that drive them to do that. So you got to take responsibility of your actions. And I have matured, and that does not happen to me anymore. But there are women that will, you know, just go there automatically because they've been hurt in the past. So, yeah.
And Nathan's being mad suspicious. So she tried to crack her password. She typed in Houston. Like that was gonna be his password.
Man. No, when she did that, I just knew that the computer was like gonna take a picture of her or something and show that it was her who was trying to hack into his shit.
She would have just had to break that shit. She would have had to just take that shit and step on it. Like,
I was like, Devin, you'll get this. I was like, this remind me of a Curb episode. It was so fucking uncomfortable.
Hell yeah.
This is definitely a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode type shit. So then Molly walked up and was like, Issa, what the fuck are you doing? And
Stop her from doing craziness.
I was so glad it was Molly. I was so relieved, because it was just like, okay, this is it. It's over. She's not going to find anything, and she's probably not going to get caught.
And so Smiley said if he got scared off because she's too real, then why do you want him? Which is kind of like what Lauren was saying earlier. Like, why do you want this person who clearly don't seem to want you? And she was like, is the dick that bomb? And then her head was like, yes. She was like, nah, it's not even that. It's that Nathan inspired her to be better and made her not feel like a fuck up. And I was like, damn, Issa. I'm like, you don't gotta rely on this nigga to feel like that. Like,
I got a question real quick. Like, so when she was in Nathan's room and she smelled that cologne, do y'all ladies really feel like that? Y'all be like, that's you. Like, do y'all really?
Man scent.
Well, yeah. I mean, if a dude wears, a certain type of cologne and everything, and we know what that cologne is, then I would think that a woman could, that's with anybody.
Anybody.
They would have an attachment, a possible attachment to the
Right.
scent.
Yeah.
So then they go to Lawrence and church.
And it's the whole scent. It's that nigga in that particular scent. Because you can smell a different nigga in that same scent and it don't be right.
Right, that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking. Yeah.
So then it was Lawrence and that church girl. By the way, does she even have a name? 'Cause I just wrote down church girl.
All right, she got
I don't remember him ever saying her name.
I don't think
I
they
don't
ever
think-
said
I
her
don't
name.
even
I'm
think they
looking
exchange
at the
names or
episode right now.
anything.
Nothing.
That
May
was so
said it
weird.
like in the text.
Oh, hold on. When they called, when he called.
Yeah, when they were texting, I think it said her
they
name, but
said
I don't
that,
remember
but I
what
don't
it said.
remember that. And
Yeah.
so she was like, "What you think about the sermon?" And Lawrence was like, "Yeah, I kind of got lost by the metaphors and shit." And he was like, she started talking about like her journey in church and like how she started a year ago, and then she went to Bible study, and then she went to this, and she went to that, and then so this is where I was confused. So then she walks off screen, and then they just keep the camera there on Lawrence like he's thinking about something, and I had no idea what he was thinking about. Like I don't know what they was trying to like show me at that point. Do y'all know?
I think it's... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was saying, say it one more time. She did what?
So
he was
walking with her,
there.
and then she started talking about her journey and stuff, and then she walked off screen, and he just stopped, and it was like one of those things where he was like questioning something, but I don't know what he was questioning. I was confused.
No, he was just in thought, like, cause like he don't know if it's for him still. You could tell he's just like he won't feeling it like that, but he was like, well, damn. Well, I don't know if I can be immersed like that. Like he can't dive in like that because he's just not
like
feeling
it's gonna
that
take
church.
me a year to get this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like what he's looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what he's looking for. He thought like, oh, I'm gonna go to church and I'm gonna feel better. And he's realizing that that whatever he's trying to get is actually gonna take work to get to that point.
And that's the problem with Lawrence, because he's looking for something to instantly make him feel better.
Exactly.
And that's not how church works.
And that's why it's fuck Lawrence Hive for that point.
Damn, I forgot y'all
He's trying to put a Band-Aid on that shit, and he over a festering ass wound.
Right. He always puts a Band-Aid on everything. He thought, like, even when he was with Issa, oh, I'm going to fix this by just getting a job. And then he got the job and he didn't want the job. And he's like, oh, I really kind of want a career. Oh, that'll fix everything. No, it won't. Then it's like, oh, I'm going to get my own place. Oh, that's not fixing it either. Because he wasn't happy in the job. Now he's in a better job. And then he's like banging every girl that like glances at him. Right. And he still is not. It's like all these little Band-Aids is not helping. Because here it is. He took Chad with him to church. Chad got something and he didn't.
Mm-hmm. Lawrence thought this was going to happen.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
That's what he was thinking.
Oh.
He thought he was gonna have one of them
He
moments.
thought that was gonna be it.
It's like boom. It's be a light switch. He wants light switches in his life. He wants all the light switches to flip up and on in his life, and that's not happening. So it's like he got the good job. He has a nice place. On paper, he should be fine, and he's not.
Right, and I'm worried about him going, like, because he doesn't want to work for stuff. He's gonna go back to what's familiar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So you saying he going back to Issa or you going back to Tasha? What we saying?
I don't know. I just think he's gonna go back to what's familiar.
I agree.
Whatever that is.
He didn't like Tasha. He liked Tasha, but Tasha wasn't what he fucked that all the way up. And I understand he was coming out of something really quick, but if Tasha was all the things that Issa wasn't as far as like supportive and all that shit, like why didn't you try to fix that?
Listen,
Right.
Yeah.
Tasha is all the way.
But
like,
that's a lesson. But that's a lesson to women though. Like, quit trying to be these niggas all. Quit trying to be like, quit trying to build these niggas up and shit. Because the minute they get on their feet, they're gonna go to where they want to go. You don't have to do no wifey additions because them niggas. Lawrence walked smooth the fuck off from Tasha, and she was like giving that nigga support and complimenting him when he had no haircut, like all of that. And that nigga
All that.
Tasha was fucking
And
everything.
cash his unemployment check.
Tasha's
You
all
Got
the
his
way
zero
my
bank
type
account and was
person.
still like, you can get some pussy, like about 15 cents in the checking, nothing in the savings, and was like, he can still get some ass.
She was too real for Lawrence. She was way
She was too real because she wanted everything and she laid it out on the table. And
Lawrence was just. That's why I don't fuck with Lawrence because he was a fucking herb, bro. He was a bitch back then, just like a fuck boy. Didn't know what he wanted. Like Lawrence is not trash. Like he's not trash like in the way Chad is. Like just that type of like completely like fucked up nigga. But he's trash in a different way because it's just
and it's worse.
Yeah,
it's worse. It's actually worse.
It is worse.
You meet a nigga like Chad and you're like, nah, I'm good. But you will meet a nigga like Lawrence and get rolled into a false
You think you
security.
can fix him?
And I think that's really why
Not
you
even
cheated
fix
on
him.
that nigga because it wasn't what she. And the thing is, we can talk about like the ethics around cheating or whatever. But like, I understand when a relationship is an agreement, and when somebody is not upholding their end of the bargain, like at that point, it's selfish to try to hold them to something that you're not giving. And not to say that niggas just need to go out and do whatever, but I look at it like that. Like, no, Lauren, she wasn't giving Issa anything. She's still a whole human being. Like, she got to get that validation and whatever from somebody. What's the point of being in a relationship? She's going to sleep by herself every night. And I don't know. I just don't like, I know too many niggas like Lauren. I know too many niggas like Lauren.
Right.
I dated niggas like Lawrence.
I got my degree. I don't got no kids, but you get in a relationship with a woman and she's literally miserable because you don't know how to be an adult in a relationship.
I've had dudes like Lawrence who look at it like, oh, I got my own place. I got like a dude literally told me, I'm a good dude. I have my own place. I have a good job. I have a car. I'm a good guy. And I'm like,
that don't make you a good guy.
That don't make you a good guy. That makes you an adult and employed.
You know, I be telling people, I be like, nigga, Hitler had a job. Hitler had a job. Nigga, Hitler was like, what are you saying?
Also, I never met a nigga who said I'm a good dude. That's an actual good dude. Like never in my life.
None.
Never.
It's not one.
And that's why I tell niggas I ain't shit all the time. So I mean, at least I can prove you wrong. Like I ain't shit. Oh, that nigga turned out to be all right. You know, I try to say I ain't shit, but you know, if you get what you get, I mean, that's what it is.
I don't know. I think this girl was just like a stopgap. I don't think we're gonna see her again, the church girl. But she kind of just walked off.
He was all that into her.
She's just a manic. What would you call her? No, she's not a manic pixie dream girl. What she is? A church pixie dream girl? I don't know. I don't know. I want Lawrence to get like some development outside of bitches. Like I need his character to have like some type of like arc that's not showing him being super pressed out.
But he might not get it though.
But you know what? That's what
that ain't him.
No, but honestly, like that's what a lot of niggas in their early 30s and shit is going through, especially a dude out of, you know, a serious relationship and then finally getting back on his feet. Like you trying to find yourself, and then like what society tells us is that we're defined by where we are in life as far as what society says we should be. We should be a man that has a job and a woman and starting a family in your 30s, you know, like, or already have a family. So he's questioning these things and he's making these missteps. And
no, it's the opposite. He's questioning himself, saying, why am I out here fucking these women, doing all the things that all these niggas want to do, and I ain't happy? And he's still trying to find this. He's still trying to find his happiness, but the happiness ain't gonna come from none of these extra, like, outside things. It's gonna come from like him changing himself. And
But that nigga need a hobby.
Right.
Probably.
Other than fucking bitches.
Yes. So then
he need a whole hobby. Get a dog. Get something.
That's what he need. He need a dog. He need a dog.
A dog will help.
Probably that makes sense. Something that he can take care of, that relies on him, that he can care about, that isn't tied to like sex and all that different, you know, all that human shit. He needs to nurture something and be nurtured.
Yes. So then They
Yo,
went
how
back.
did he fuck up with the old girl he used to work with? How did he fuck that up?
He fucked up because he kept thinking she was fucking her best friend. Remember, every time she would talk
yeah,
to her best friend, he was mad,
He was insecure about that.
Oh.
because
He
Issa
was
broke.
insecure
Because
about
Issa
that.
just cheated on him, so he was doing that whole thing that men accuse women of like taking
Yeah.
baggage from a previous relationship into the next thing.
Oh. Okay.
So then they went to Issa, and she's still thinking about that nigga. And then she was like, you know what, fuck this, I need to move on. So she unfollowed that nigga on Instagram. She deleted his number. And I was like, okay, Issa, all right, good. So then they went to Lauren's.
But did she delete the text thread?
Yes.
Hey,
No, she didn't.
look at you, look at you, Lauren, knowing the tricks. Cause I done did that shit plenty of times. Like,
So then, her name was Denise. I wrote it down. So then Denise texted Lawrence and was like, you should come to Bible study. And then Lawrence was like, yeah, we'll see if I make it. I was like, that nigga not going to no damn Bible study.
he's not going there. Chad be there though.
So
Chad gonna smack Denise.
Issa went to the workshop, and her hair was so fucking fly. I don't know what she did, but that shit was so fly. So then Molly was at work, and Torian walked by and gave her that evil ass eye. And I forgot to talk about that.
Oh
so
no, you forgot.
apparently,
Yeah, you been.
apparently, so the nigga went to Molly and was like, when's Torian gonna get back? And she was like, he out. I don't know. I ain't talked to him. And she was like, well, when you get back, you two can present. And then Molly was like, well, I can present myself. And he was like, oh, can you? Oh, all right then, Molly, go ahead. And so
Got little partners.
I was like, part of me thinks this is good for Molly, standing up for herself and doing it on her own. And then part of me was like, is this Molly again trying to be the star or some shit when she don't need to?
Yes. Well, this is her inability to align herself with people, because she fucked up with the women earlier. You know, in a few episodes ago, she fucked up with them. You know, trying to be the star, and now she done fucked up with Torian. So now she's not gonna have anybody. It's just like, what good is being in this position? Yeah, she's just going to be by herself. Nobody's going to put her on to the next thing. You know, she's not going to have any friends as far as in her job. And it seems like you need something. You know, she knew she needed something because she was trying to align herself with the women. But then when, you know, she felt like she had an end, she tried to align herself back with the dudes. But now she done fucked up with the dudes. It's just like, you're not doing yourself any favors burning bridges.
Yep. Just burning them up. Just burn the house down.
Burning it all down.
It's fine.
Mr. Burns, just playing the fire. So then Issa went to Lauren's job, and I was like, oh, shit, here we go. And she was like, I just want to thank you for telling me about this workshop.
What do you mean? No. The workshop was at Lawrence's job.
Oh, that was at the job?
Yeah. It was at his job,
okay.
because
So
he's the one who told her.
Yeah.
Then she was like, thank you for telling me. And he was like, yeah, no problem. And then he was like, she was like, you getting off soon? And he was like, yeah, I just dealt with my last client. And she was like, well, you want to get some coffee? And I was like, oh, gosh, let's see.
I thought, I really thought this was on some goddamn Luke Cage shit. I was like, oh, God, are they about to fuck? Like,
so.
The next scene, slapping them cheeks.
He told her about the homie in the lift from the dunes. And she was like, yeah, he told me all about the dunes and how she... Like, this white woman tried to move in with a parakeet, and the woman killed the parakeet. And then she was like, and then Lawrence was like, how's Lyft going? And she was like, it's great, making mad money. And then she was like, nah, it's not that, it's hard. And then she was like, after we left the dunes, I was staying on people's couches. And I was like, I noticed she didn't say I was staying on Daniel's couch.
Very smart.
Very
right.
smart of her.
That ain't none of his business, no way.
Nope.
Yeah, that's what. That.
And then and I was like, but she realized you can't let other people prop you up. And then Lawrence was like, he was basically like, you standing in your own way, like you get in your own head and it fucks you up. And so I really like this scene because it shows that they really do know each other. But I think Issa and Lawrence will be much better off as just friends. Like as friends, it seems like they have a healthy relationship. But I just don't know if that's
they
going to
can
stick.
be honest and open with one another, right?
Well, it's just familiarity. I can't even talk, but it breeds contempt, and they've had enough distance between them where they can look back and remember like what they actually got together for in the first place. I think they just went through the same like trials and tribulations that people go through in relationships, but some people choose to break apart and some people just choose to be together. Because there's been times I've been with my husband for a fucking minute, like a minute, and there have been times there have been peaks and valleys, and I'm talking about valleys like to the point where who the fuck is this nigga? Because this is not the person I'm dealing with, and vice versa for him. Because you grow, you change as individuals, and sometimes that just is not always congruent. And I don't know, but I could see them getting back together. They would have a lot of work to do relationship wise, but I really just feel like she loved that nigga and he loved her, but they weren't good for each other in that phase.
They clearly love each other. Like, it's real obvious.
But I don't think Daniel ain't the nigga. Like, Daniel ain't the one.
No,
Daniel just ain't the one.
No.
Well, Issa don't feel that way about Daniel. She only go to Daniel when something wrong.
Daniel is fun and he's secure, but he ain't. That's not long term.
No.
I don't even think Nathan is. I really think Nathan was just somebody to have fun with, and she just. I feel like the situation with them ended on terms that she wasn't okay with, and that's why she's tripping. Like, I feel like it just would have eventually fizzled out because he just don't seem like he got a lot of substance.
Well, hey, what y'all think about Lawrence with these pants with no belt? What y'all think about that shit?
I was not paying attention to it. I was noticing like, oh wow. I was noticing that he seemed I don't know why I thought he was bigger or thought maybe like he lost weight or something. Like he just seemed
That's
thinner.
That skinny nigga shit right there. I'm telling you.
Well, Issa does too, but I think they watched themselves on that first season and was like, oh, we fat, and they came back because every season stuff they get smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Because Issa looks super thin to me.
That's why she out here taking all these shower scenes and jumping in the pool naked and shit. Like,
so Lawrence was like, he needed to make some changes too. He told Issa about going to church. Issa was like, you went to church, nigga? And he was like, yeah, but I don't know if that's for me. And Issa was like, look, that church may not be for you, but you can go find another one that may be for you. And I was like, these niggas so cute as friends. And then she started talking about like, I'm gonna do this block party for you by us. This nigga was like, you talking about FUBU, nigga? I was like, oh, this is so adorable. Then it just went off.
No, he's like, LL Cool J, you gonna get LL Cool J to come through?
Yeah, he's like, you think he'll do it? So that was so cute. So before we get out of here, let's get into our little quick segment. So one of the things we do is, what is the most insecure moment of the show for you? So what was this part of the show where somebody was acting mad insecure? I'll start with you, Shante.
Oh, Issa in the house in Nathan's room, looking in the like that's it. Like she
I
was
think that's
like,
everybody's.
boom, top tier, like insecurity.
Yeah, I think that's everybody's, right? Like that was just mad insecure. Also, I kind of on a like another level. I also think Molly stepping in and doing that shit by herself was kind of insecure because it's just like she was worried that he was going to take her thunder, which he probably would have because he's kind of an asshole a little bit. But she's new there, so she gotta play the fence a little bit to start off. You can't just jump out in front of everybody and alienate the whole office. So I think she's so desperate for like attention and approval that she fucks up relationships in her workplace and her personal life.
I think also her doing the presentation without Torian, I think, was a little insecure of her. Instead of, it's like you just got there, so you really should like stay in your lane and play your position. But her going, oh no, I can do it. I'm like,
yeah,
you just got there.
I don't know. I felt some type of. I mean, sometimes you be spiteful. I felt some type of way. I would have felt some type of way if niggas kept micromanaging me. Like the reason they couldn't present is because Tori ain't look her work over. Like
that's true.
But also, Torian is also the star.
Molly got white people energy though. Molly has big white man energy, but she's in a black woman's body, so it's read differently. Like I noticed that. Like no, she been in a white world a very long time, and she navigates shit like a white man, but in a black female body, it just comes off different.
Yeah,
because nobody says white men. White men are like that. They cutthroat, untrustworthy at work. Like you don't trust a white man with shit at work.
Nope.
But they're just able to function like that.
Yeah.
Also, she was mad insecure with Andrew too.
Definitely.
With the shit about Joe.
That was mine. She was super insecure with that nigga.
Yes. just
because you can't take some playful banter at a dinner table. You know what I mean? Like, and then you want to
About the shit
leave.
you doing.
Yeah.
Steph, what was your awkward black girl moment of the week? So, moment when it was just a real awkward ass situation, kind of made you cringe.
Oh, Issa going through that man's stuff, going through the trash can, trying to hack his computer. I was like, girl, what? Like, showing up at the house at all. I was like, what are you doing? It's like, girl. It's like, I don't even know. How are you going to explain this? I'm like, what is your end game here? Because it's weird. I was like, wait, how does she know where he lives again? Like, oh,
I think he said that. He said something about he lived with his boy.
He lived with Andrew. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, huh. I'm like, you got
I don't know how Molly knew exactly where they, exactly.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, how do you know exactly where he
That's weird
lives?
as shit now that I think about it.
Right. I'm like, how do you know that?
I think that's supposed to be TV magic, though. Like, they just know.
Yeah, I was like, did y'all talk about addresses? Because I feel like I missed that part.
Devin, what about you?
I think more so Chad, and just seeing Chad in the hurt he's in and not being able to, express it, and it being so clear, and he'd be like, "Oh, nigga, I go. You got me. You convince me. I go." Because I know dudes that will do shit like that. You know what I mean? And instead of saying they need help, they want to act like they're helping you.
Yeah, Eric, that nigga is with Lawrence all the time now. All the fucking time with him. That nigga clearly needs somebody by his side. So the last thing we'll do is go around and see what everybody's looking forward to next week. So Lauren, what are you looking forward to next week in the season finale?
What I'm looking forward to in the near future is all my DC shows coming back for the fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Black Lightning, baby.
Yeah, that's Arrow. Like I'm happy about all of that, and I am searching. If y'all know, let me know. I don't know if y'all watch Parasite, but I found out there was a live action Parasite from the cartoon.
It's not good.
So, it's not. Oh damn! That was what I was looking forward to this week because I saw the clips on somebody's Facebook, and I was like, "I think that's Parasite."
I'm talking about what you looking forward to in the next episode.
Oh, nigga, I'm talking about everything else. That's how y'all know.
H-Town.
So this is what I'm looking forward to. I want the big ass block party to be popping. I want all of her old niggas to be there. I want all the girls to be there, and I want to see this nigga that Tiffany had dipped off with that everybody think we forgot about.
Oh,
last season. I want to see who he was with. Like I want that nigga to pop up and she see him and go in labor or some shit like that.
Look, I already have an agenda of Tiffany that not being Derek's baby too. I want it to be a Mona show, basically. I just want it to be
clearly.
That's what I want. Like I want.
You want Mona Scott to come in here and be like,
yes.
Hold up.
Yes, I want
this
Mona
an okay
Scott.
Show, but I got some tips.
Yes, Mona Scott need to write the last episode, the season finale. That shit'll be. You know how fucking fucked up that party would be if Mona Scott was writing that shit. All types of shit be happening.
Candace come in and just throw a drink in Molly's face. Bitch.
That should be so good.
You grimy ass bitch. Like I can see it.
Mm-hmm. Shante, what are you looking forward to next week?
I want the party to go well. What I'm looking forward to or hoping is that Issa can get some confidence, even just for a second, in herself. Yeah, some confidence in herself. That's for her, that she can feel like she accomplished something, because she's been dealing with, she had the setback at We Got Y'all. She left. She's having this setback with Nathan and all this different kind of stuff. And I want her to get a win.
Look at you. You're a much better person than me. Steph, what about you?
I am waiting to see all of Issa's exes show up. I can't wait to see Daniel. I can't wait. Maybe Thug Yoda will be there too.
Oh yeah, Thug Yoda.
So I'm waiting to see how many people going to show up. I want to see if there's going to be some sort of tete-a-tete with Tiffany and Kelly. Because I feel like that's coming.
I mean, I ain't seen their previews though. I want to see.
No.
I definitely want to see them try to resolve that, or at least do something. Yeah,
that
definitely.
shit is definitely coming.
Yeah.
Kelly is not over that shit that Tiffany was pulling last week.
Cause she up and left, and I was like, that's when you know your friend really mad at you when she don't even say goodbye to you. It's like, no, I'm done.
You gotta bounce.
Like to me, like leave before I be blowing up on your ass.
What are you looking forward to?
I'm definitely trying to see the Beat Crew roll up in this block party and see old boy.
I feel like that's a red herring. Like we saw that shit and then we haven't seen it since. So either she or the Beat Crew.
Oh yeah, her little. They might. That would be dope if they came through and they was
want to see them.
We're gonna give you a job.
Right. And I want to see them do a dope ass performance and shit because you see, I love the kids. And then definitely, hopefully we see Nathan so we resolve that issue. And I want to see a great cliffhanger to keep me wanting more Insecure for season 4.
Well, they already got approved, so we know something's coming. Renewed, I should say. So I want to see. First of all, I want to see Dro show up there with Molly, and I want to see Candace be there, and I want to see Candace find out that I want to see Molly say fuck up and say like I was fucking your husband or something like that, and Candace be shocked, and Dro get his ass whipped and some shit. I want to see.
Hold on. How would Dro come with Molly when they beefing?
What? No. They all gonna be at the block party.
Like he just want to see. I think he said come with, but he's meaning to see them together.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I want to see Nathan. This is what I want to see. So I have a theory that Nathan is. This is kind of fucked up, but I have a theory that Nathan is a bit aggressive person since he was fighting in that car, and I never forget that scene when they was in the pool, and he had that stab mark on his shoulder, and Issa was like, "Where you get that from?" And he changed the subject right away. I think he got that shit from an ex, and I think he got a problem. And I want him to show up, and for Issa to go off on him, and then for Lawrence to come over there, and they start fighting, because that would be funny to me. And so I'm just kidding. I don't want to see all that shit. I just want to see them have I just want to see them have a good ass party, and I want to see Lawrence and Issa not get together, but end cordially. And I want to see what the fuck's up with Nathan, because it's something, and I think it's clearly something fucked up with him. Maybe he got commitment issues, and maybe they're gonna try to play it like that. Since the whole season, I'm
gonna be so mad if that's what it is.
Because the whole season,
you saw the nigga face though. You saw the nigga face. Was in the bed.
It's been about like men and their insecurities, and like it was with Daniel, it was with Lawrence, it's like with Chad now, and I think his insecurity may be like he's scared of commitment or some shit like that. So I don't know, but that's kind of where I think they're gonna go with it. But I'm not really sure.
I thought you was talking about you want to see fucking Nathan hit Issa with the backhand like on Friday and shit.
See, I don't want to see that because I don't want to see that because that's gonna be that. First of all, that doesn't move anything forward. Second, I don't know. I don't want to see what fucking Twitter's gonna look like if that were to happen. That shit would be a disaster.
Man. That shit was trash. That shit was really self-destruct.
I want to see that.
Lawrence can come to the rescue. You know what I mean, jab that nigga. And I mean,
first of all, Lawrence will get his ass whipped by Nathan.
Oh yeah,
kidding
definitely.
me? Did you see what that nigga did to that big nigga smoking weed in his car?
Nathan got that pit bull.
He was trying real hard, but yeah.
Yeah, Nathan ain't got. I mean, Lawrence ain't got no chance. So before we get out of here,
Morehouse hands, Houston fight.
Shante, what's going on with you this week? What's going on in the Single Simulcast?
We record on Fridays. And most of the time it's based on whatever's happening during the week. So it's not like, oh, we're going to talk about this or that or whatever. So if something pops off this week, we'll be talking about it on Friday. And yeah, they can check us out at singlesimulcast.com. And we're just about everywhere except Spotify and SoundCloud.
Oh. Okay. Steph, what's going on in Mocha Minutes Podcast this week?
So last night I recorded with Shante, Candace from Ratchet Ramblings and Not So Newlywed Podcast, and Booney from the Booney Breakdown for my 1-year anniversary show.
Did y'all have your thirst cast?
Yes, That was last night.
That was your
Thursday.
Thirstcast last week. Did
Yes,
y'all have
it's coming
awards
out.
and shit?
No, we did. No, we didn't.
No awards.
It comes
Okay.
out tomorrow, but we definitely had different categories. And believe me, there were a couple people who were like, "Oh, I left them off." Glad I did. Because Jesse tried to burn down the timeline today.
Oh, today? Hell yeah.
I was like, "Oh, I left them off."
Jesse
Won't he do
Williams
it?
stay fucking up, man. That nigga cannot get right.
I
He
mean,
hasn't, man. He hasn't been right since the BET Awards, and that was what, 3 years, 4
yeah,
years ago?
He cannot
left
get
his
right.
wife.
Mhm.
Lauren,
Yeah.
what do you and Gabby got going on the Two Woke Girls podcast this week?
This week we'll be talking about why do we hate black children so fucking much. We feel like our society treats black kids like shit, and we just want to break that down and figure out where that comes from and what that says about us as adults, the way we command and demand respect from children when we don't respect them. So that's what we'll be talking about this week. Last week was death by monogamy. We're talking a lot of shit about relationships and stuff. So yeah. And you can catch us on twowokegirls.com. We have the Two Woke Girls app where you'll be able to listen to all your favorite podcasts once we relaunch that. Yeah, so everybody, like anybody, you can just look it up. My husband does like computer development and coding and real nerdy shit. So he did that. So when it's ready to relaunch, I'll let you guys know, and y'all can listen to y'all own selves on it. And we're on iTunes and Google Play Music. So yeah, Two Woke Girls with the number 2 and GURLS.
Tell Gabby we said hi, and she gotta come.
Definitely.
We will.
Hey, tell Gabby.
And y'all gonna come back for Black. Does Gabby watch Black Lightning?
I don't know. You know, I'm a big kid. I got children, so I'm a big kid. I watch a lot of kid stuff, but I don't know. She might watch it.
So we're gonna have to get
Lauren,
her.
She watches like the Marvel. She likes the Marvel movies and stuff.
Lauren, you have to watch the Dragon Prince on Netflix. It's so good. It's really quick. It's 30-minute episodes. It's 9. Reese
is it
was
live
on her
or
show.
cartoon?
It's cartoon. It's animated.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it's like the Last Airbender. So you'll love it.
Okay.
Yeah,
I gotta watch that then.
Dragon Prince is
I'm about to
really
go
quick.
get that down.
Like it's 30-minute episodes, 9 minutes. Reese recommended me when I was with Brandon this weekend. I watched it all, so it was really good. And tell Gabby she can be my we can be my we can definitely do that little plutonic. I mean what's the goddamn it? What's the shit? What's the word? P word?
Platonic?
It's not platonic, but
platonic.
No, with the relationship shit.
The polyamorous.
Oh
yeah, we can definitely be a poly shit, yo.
Oh my god, this thing.
Hey,
me and Gabby got the same views on shit, yo. Me and Gabby got the same views on a lot of things.
Oh,
actually, you do. You do.
Gabby's a cool chick.
Yeah, she's cool.
Very, very low maintenance. I'll burn a
a
candle for that. Make sure that happens for y'all.
we got what we got coming up, Devin. Oh, we're gonna go back and I can't believe we're gonna do this. We're gonna go back and rewatch Spider-Man 3 before Venom comes out.
I didn't agree to that
What?
Wait,
are you serious?
On purpose?
Yes, on purpose. So Venom comes out on the 5th of October.
Y'all okay?
And we're gonna go back and revisit the first live action appearance of Venom in Spider-Man 3 from 2007. So
wow.
We're gonna
Stay
watch
blessed.
that.
Batman reviews coming out soon, I guess.
Oh, Steph will be on for the Batman animated series. I'm still not finished. That'll probably be sometime in October. We still got to do our Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur comic book review. And this Thursday, you read that? Lauren, you read that?
I am getting started because I'm ordering it because I want my son to read it and I want to read it to my daughter. So like I'm really excited about that because she's 3, so this will be her first comic book.
Oh, it's so good. I got my niece in the comic books based off this book. It's so good.
My baby loves superheroes. Like she loves fighting and stuff like that. And I was like, you ain't no little princess girl. You a fighting girl. So we're gonna get you some fighting stuff.
Yeah, we got Riri coming out and we got Shuri coming out before the end of the year. So
yeah, they come out next month. The books.
It's popping. Like it's really popping on. Yeah, Black Girl Comics is popping right now.
Mm-hmm. And Thursday we got Tim from CBR. He's the editor at the Comic Book Resource and from the Comic Book Chronicles podcast. So Tim will be on Thursday to talk all that nerd shit on our regular show with us. So Until then, thank all of you for joining us and go
Wakanda
listen to all
forever.
their shows. Danielle will be back soon. Stephanie Zakoye will be back. And we will be back soon as well. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you later.
My shit is caked up, my bad bitch activate. Without no makeup, that collard greens, cornbread, neck bone, back. Get it from my mama, and you don't know where your daddy at. Knick-knack, daddy whack, give a dog a bone. Put it on him, boy, your nigga never coming home.